All right, here we go. It is Thursday, January 18th. It's been a short week for me because, well, of course, Monday, Martin Luther King Day. Tuesday, I didn't trade. No, Tuesday I did trade, but didn't do a review. And then Wednesday, I didn't trade. So now we're down to Thursday, which is unemployment, which is a great day. I love unemployment. So as I'm always talking about here, my system is 3 basic steps: daily range, 1 hour PD raise, 15-minute, 5-minute breakers as an entry model, and then time of day. So the very first thing I want to cover in brief here is what I wrote down before the market began. So it's Thursday, and I want to show you how important the process is. So weekly observations in the AM, I only trade the AM session, so that's all I'm ever going to talk about. But the daily shows a lack of displacement higher and lower. The most recent is lower, leading to the possibility of the high being taken out. So I'm thinking, okay, Wednesday's done. Thursday, high of week template, possibly. The week is sideways, so possible Thursday high week, as I just said. So that means I'm thinking, okay, turtle soup, 9:30 a.m., possibly. NQ is the strongest, so it needs to be the most flexible as far as the short goes if we're going to go short, turtle soup short. And the dollar was showing relative higher highs, and gold was showing a bear flag. So I thought it was long potential here around gold, setting up the possible turtle soup short on NQ in ES. So let's drive into the charts here and break down exactly what the day did. Here we go. And as the morning starts, one of the things that I see is that I thought these relative equal highs would be buy side. And I was really particularly interested in this Thursday high here, partially because there was a fair value gap there. You know, these I realize that these all overlap. I'll try and make this a little easier to see, but that's where I thought buy side was. And I thought the daily range was right here. So you can go look at that price, 17,038.50, and just decide what that is. And I didn't think we would go too much higher than that, but we could. Now, the other thing that I looked at was an algorithm that I've watched for some time now, and this is something you can go back test, is that when there is no liquidity taken from the Globex session on or from ASIN session on all the way into the open, then it is going to be a blow off top. Almost always happens. So that's exactly what happened this morning. And then at the 9:30 open, you see some interesting things, which I'll dive into first. So as you look at the 5-minute chart, at the 8:30 unemployment open, you see a test down into the 5-minute fair value gap. That's not the 5-minute fair time frame. Let me just get that back here. Here we go. All right, so you see here that the non-liquidity is being taken, and the fair value gap, the only fair value gap that was there potentially would have been right there, but it doesn't create one. So there's nothing there except for this giant wick right here. So you use that like a fair value gap. At 8:30, it runs down. I was in that, and we ran higher. I scaled out of it. I actually thought we would go right to buy side at 56, but we didn't. We ran higher and then started to look like we were going to displace lower. And I thought, oh, okay, I know what this is going to do. This is going to go down into discount, and then we'll turn around 9:30 a.m. and then run higher. But we didn't do that. We stopped right here and then displaced back higher. So what this becomes is a failure to displace lower after you've run out the highs. If you think about that from a formula standpoint, you'd say, well, it's Thursday. We should see a high of week, right? Okay, cool. Yeah, we do. So it runs up, takes out the liquidity, but it doesn't take out what I thought was buy side. Then appears to displace lower, and then does it bounce off of the fair value gap that it took long? It did briefly, and then it went high again. And then so then I surmised as soon as we did this right here, as soon as we came back up here like this, I said, we're not going any lower. We're going to use this right here, and that's what's going to run us higher. So at 9:30. I was pre-positioned right here to run through these highs. I scaled again here, and I expected us to get to buy side again. I did not expect us to come all the way back, but it turns out that's exactly what it needed to do for the 10 o'clock turn. Now, when it did that, I was no longer thinking that we would be selling short up here. I thought we may run higher. How high, I don't know. Although I have this draw location I've had up there for, you could have seen it on my charts from last week. It was there, and we finally did get there. So I would think maybe we're done. But anyways, the point being is that I expected a more direct route to the buy side, and we didn't get it. So what that did is it got me sitting on my old hands. When I'm not sure what it's going to do next, and it didn't do what I thought it was going to do more than once, then I say, you know what? It could go to my location, but it's really not worth me trying to stab. So I think the 10 o'clock turn is a tradable event. You have a fair value gap here. That's a tradable event long, even though it's in premium, and largely based on the framework and logic that this displacement failed to continue and reversed. So I hope that's helpful today. If you traded today and you traded NQ, you can see the logic of how I built my system. I had the daily range. You can go investigate those numbers. I build it on PD arrays, and ordinarily on a day like today, I'd have been looking short because we're way up in premium, and we've got all this buy side above us that I would have expected us to turtle soup. But now I've explained why that became an invalid thought process. So if you're trying to get your trading business underway and you're trying to make that all work for you, and you need somebody to kind of listen to you and help you fill in the gaps for where you're being illogical or you got holes in your system, I'd be glad to help you. Reach out.